I'm not going to give you any methodology or what to do in groups. What it needs to arise organically out of presence, but just a few pointers. What you do will arise, what works will arise from within organically, so not applying some method. You don't need that. It would be an alien thing imposed. And when there's presence, that's not needed. If you speak, my suggestion would be that the first words direct people into the body, so that their attention moves from the head to a deeper level. So you lead people into the body, and there may be some people who are new and who've never been in the body before. For 40, 50 years, they've never been in the body. And it may be meaningless. They feel the inner body. They say, what? Where? It doesn't make sense. I can't work that out. What do you mean? The easiest device getting people into the body, and I've used it a few times, and it works, even for people who've never been there, is you can do this with anybody, your grandparents, your grandmother, any little child. No understanding is required. To just say, and some of you have heard me say that before, hold up your right hand or left hand, close your eyes. Is there any way you can know, without touching anything or moving your hand or opening your eyes, without any of this, is there any way you can know whether your right hand is there, still there? Is there any way you can find out, without moving it or touching anything or looking at it, whether your right hand is still there? You ask that question. And that question will direct their attention, after a little while, into the inner feeling of right hand. So it'll take their attention. First they'll try to work out mentally, is there any way I can know? No, I can't. And then you ask that question again. Perhaps you can find out. And so the attention then, for some people it's a revelation. For the first time they can feel that something in the body is alive. And they feel, yes, there's a subtle sense of aliveness where my right hand is. And they feel a very subtle flow of aliveness there. And then you will point out, right, you have entered the body. That's the beginning of it. And that is, for some people, it's a beautiful revelation. And they are surprised that there is actually aliveness there. They had never even thought that there could be aliveness in the body. They might have been concerned with their external physical body and how it looks, but never felt a deep inner aliveness there. And there it is. And then see if you can do it with the other hand, find out if that's still there. Oh, that can then work more quickly. And then bring the two together into one feeling, feel them both at the same time. Oh. And at first, it works beautifully, and the strange thing is, feeling your hands immediately sensitizes you more to feeling other parts of the body, even if they are not specifically pointed out. So by entering your hands, through your hands, could be the entry point, it's very easily felt for most people. Already there's greater aliveness even in those parts that are not specifically addressed yet. And particularly if you've done this for a while, you can enter the body from anywhere and suddenly the aliveness is there all over. You can use any entry point. And so this is a beautiful thing you can do for people who come, and then gradually take them into the rest of the body And feel can you sense also that your feet are equally alive? Equally. And so gradually develop this ability to sense different parts of the body as one. There was a teacher called Jean Klein, who I believe he used that expression, a global sense of beingness or aliveness, global presence, meaning all over. And a few pointers are then needed to point out the significance of feeling the inner body, because otherwise the mind will dismiss it and say, this is not important. Yes, it feels good, but I've got other things to worry about. So if it's not understood, the mind needs a little bit of understanding, then it's easier to see why. What is the significance of being in the body? And so you explain the vast intelligence that undoubtedly is in the body, in every cell, in every organ, in the DNA. So vast that no human mind and not all the computers put together could coordinate the functions of the body, not even a tiny percentage of it. So you are connecting with an intelligence that is greater than what you had thought of as intelligence, which is just the human mind. Not separate from it, but vaster. So the vastness begins by entering what looks like this limited little thing, the body, but it is only the doorway. So the entry point into that vastness is through that doorway. And realize you're now connecting with that greater intelligence that dwells in there. And you can also point out that you may notice that when you sense the inner body, less thinking is taking place in your mind, because you cannot simultaneously be in your body and have a lot of thought activity in your head, because your consciousness is either consumed by thought, in which case consciousness continuously is being born into forms, or you can have your consciousness, instead of going out into form, returning back into the formless, and the formless one life, one consciousness of which the mind is only an expression. So it's a reversal. So you point out, people will notice that the mind becomes stiller as you enter the body. And people are not becoming less intelligent, but more intelligent, because they connect with that greater intelligence, that vastness. And you just need to point that out, that it is also the beginning of the inner realm of stillness as they enter within, out of which all great creations have come in this world. Artists, some of the creative scientists, all created out of the decisive moments of realization were always stillness, preceded by stillness. And probably an aliveness in the body, even if they didn't know it, they were sitting there, and that is the creative state of total openness and receptivity.